Horrible defence.
Could be interesting, and Onana's in big trouble, and it's going to be forced in. Warren, the former Manchester United trainee.
Lost match after match. But Rúben Amorim still decided to put this man on the bench.
Kobbie Mainoo, he said he's a starter. He's made 9 appearances in the Premier League, every one of them as a sub.
If I'm looking after Kobbie Mainoo, I'm going, Kobbie, we're getting you out of that football club. Don't need to speak up, we'll sort it out.
It's so
He's
sad.
got, it's sad.
So
He's got,
sad
got
to
he
think
has,
of that,
for his football career, he has to leave Man United.
He's
lost 18 months of development.
But look at what he has become now.
Yes, they're knotted down, cleared away to the edge of the penalty area. Mainoo! Yes! Kobbie Mainoo scores! What a finish from the academy graduate! It's top flight European competition for Manchester United.
91% passing accuracy, an average of 5 to 7 progressive carries per match. Almost impossible to be beaten under pressing. Everything now goes through him.
We just got some stats here to show you how good he was in that game in terms of his passes, possession won, distance covered, but the goal he scored, and it was a big goal against Liverpool. But just a psychological sort of place that he's in. When everyone's telling you how good you are at 21 or 20 before, and he's played for England and he's played in big games, and you're left out by the manager, how do you deal with that? And he's dealt with it spot on. His attitude's been brilliant. He could have lost his confidence, but he didn't lose his confidence, and he puts in a performance like that.
Under Michael Carrick, he is no longer a young talent. He is the centre of Manchester United.
Yeah, I thought that was the best Kobbie's played certainly since I've been back here. I think to step up and put so many phases to his game or sides to his game. Not easy when you got really good players in around you, and so he had to be right at it tonight. But after he showed so much quality and composure in a tough environment, really, in the end, to show us what he can do.
No highlights, not a goal scorer, but the one that every top club desires.
But I saw that as a massive threat when Mainoo was rumoured to leave, and I would have taken him at Juventus in a heartbeat because we've seen the talent that he possesses. He's an incredibly composed, deep-line midfielder, even like receiving the ball in the half turn. He just slows things down, it seems. Like even this United team, they're not the most technically gifted players at the back, right? But Mainoo's able to just be calm, be composed, move the ball quickly, speed up the play, slow it down when it's needed. And he was huge in that midfield.
From a player who was on the verge of being pushed out of Manchester United, he is now the brain, the soul of the team's midfield. Kobbie Mainoo is unstoppable.
Got Kobbie Mainoo, the swagger on him at moments in the game was sensational. And then he scores the match-winning goal. And he doesn't even score it in front of the scoreboard end, but he scores it in front of the Stretford end, which makes it just a little bit more special. To beat Liverpool, our fiercest rivals, to put us back into the Champions League where we belong. Like, I literally didn't have words. I just shouted Kobbie Mainoo when he scored. Like, mate, if I could bottle up that feeling, that's what it's all about, you know.
Mainoo! United can't play without you! United can't play without you! And it's breaking my heart when you don't start, Mainoo!
When Amorim was still in charge, Kobbie Mainoo had a total of only 73 Premier League minutes in the first 4 matches of the 2025-26 season. Yes, you didn't hear me wrong, 73 minutes for a player who had just played in a Euro final at the age of 18. A player whom Gary Lineker called the best player of the England national team in that tournament. And Amorim decided to place him on the bench.
I don't know what is going to happen. It depends. I see in the training, I see is the best thing for the team. I will put it. That is the only way I know how to respond to that. You love Kobbie. He starts for England, but that doesn't mean that I need to put Kobbie when I feel that I shouldn't put Kobbie. So it's my decision.
No, but his statement was that it's Agati or Casemiro, it's Bruno or Kobbie. He sort of said that in a press conference.
He's putting Mainoo up against Bruno.
No, but when you put because he's going to play 2 in there. When you say you're up against Bruno always is going to play, plays every match. Yeah. So in fact, he was actually telling Kobbie at the time, you're not going to play, basically. So I get Kobbie's point of view that he's like, hang on a minute, if I can play alongside Bruno, great. But if it's me or him, he's always going to play. He's brilliant.
Things got worse when in August 2025, Mainoo himself requested a loan move to get more playing time. But United refused. At this point, you might think that Manchester United still saw him as a necessary option for the squad. If that, you would be wrong. Instead of adjusting tactics to utilise the English player, Ineos, at that time, even considered selling him.
It's very late. It's just almost 5 days to go to the end of the window. And to find a solution for a player like Kobbie Mainoo is not that easy. It's not that easy also because Man United still hope to keep the player. They know that the player is not happy with the situation because it's not just about not playing. It's also about the coach after the game, Rúben Amorim, saying that he can only play in the position to replace Bruno Fernandes, and we know how important is Bruno for this team. So probably Mainoo was surprised about the situation, but now Man United still hope they can fix the situation with Kobbie. They can talk to the player, keep him and continue with him.
£40 million. That was the price Manchester United set to offload the Carrington Academy talent. With that amount, they believed it would help support Rúben Amorim in rebuilding the squad.
Kobbie Mainoo is a great example of Carrington working. Top talent, top player for me, 19 years old. To lose him for me will be such a bad look. Those are one of them ones where you're like, really? Kobbie's left. Imagine saying that when he scored the cup final winner just last season, that the next summer, Kobbie Mainoo would be gone.
Everything changed rapidly when Amorim was sacked and Carrick took charge of Manchester United in January 2026. Mainoo gained Carrick's trust and immediately started 13 out of 14 matches, missing only one due to injury.
I like the way Kobbie takes the ball after. I think there's a big part of being a footballer and being a top player is being able to cope with the environment. Yeah. And he come in at such a young age and played some big games in the Euros for England, for finals for Manchester United, and playing a big part in those games. So just being able to cope, first off, is a huge thing, and he's proved he can cope. You know, he takes the ball, he drifts, he can play a little bit deeper at times, he can play a little bit higher up depending on who he's playing with, and I think sometimes we can pigeonhole players in certain things quite quickly, and it's not always the case. And sometimes you say things and you see things in a player and you tweak a little bit. Kobbie can play different roles within that, but definitely with Cassie in the middle, the last couple of games they've had a really good pairing, and being a big part of controlling as the team.
Carrick's trust in Mainoo has been repaid as he recorded the most ball recoveries in the midfield zone for the team. He created 7 chances. That may sound normal, but it is higher than Mbeumo, Amad Diallo and Casemiro over the same period. And everyone was truly amazed by Kobbie Mainoo in the recent match against Liverpool. 89% pass accuracy, 100% successful take-ons, 5 duels won, 7 ball recoveries, 2 shots and 1 winning goal, and man of the match.
Committing my future to the club and then winning at Liverpool and topping off with a goal, and it's amazing.
Does scoring at the Stretford End against Liverpool ever get boring?
Absolutely not. I mean, I hope I can do it for the rest of my life and just bottle up that feeling, you know.
And just finally, Champions League football next season for Manchester United, how does that feel?
Yeah, it's amazing. Back where I feel we should be as a club, and season's not over still. We still need to win these last few games, and then we can look towards next season.
So why did Amorim make such a foolish decision regarding Kobbie Mainoo? To be fair, the answer is not that he hated Mainoo or intentionally tried to harm him. That decision came from a systematic tactical philosophy. It was simply the wrong philosophy when applied to this team. Amorim's 3-4-3 system was indeed successful, bringing Sporting CP their first title after 19 years of waiting. But this is the Premier League, not the Primera Liga. In Amorim's system, central midfielders are required to do many things at once: high pressing, covering wide areas when the team attacks, quick defensive transitions. It is a system that demands engines rather than artists. Players who run a lot, bring high energy, and are not afraid of physical duels vertically and horizontally across the pitch. And in Amorim's mind, Mainoo was not that type. He saw Mainoo as too delicate, lacking explosive physicality, and not capable of covering ground in a high-press system.
I think he can play in both positions in the midfielder. Last year he played more in front. I think his perfect position is more near the ball, always with the ball. I think he's a big talent, and you guys know better than me that he's a big talent. I think he needs to increase the rhythm, the pace. I'm always on top of that with Kobbie, because he's so good sometimes, but he can be better. So I have big plans, but again, like I said, 1 game per week, the competition is going to be huge, and everybody has to be prepared to play one game or play all the games, and that is a key point in our season.
Instead, he chose Mason Mount, a player he praised from the first day he arrived at Carrington, constantly searching for roles for Mount in the system, while failing to find any role for Mainoo.
First thing is working really hard, and then you have to understand the human also. He wants this really bad, and that is the most important thing. I think he proved to all of you that he's a talented player. He was European champion also. So we believe a lot in him. He has to stay fit, and like I said, like all the guys in the team, they are quality players. They have to improve, believe in themselves. And today he did a great job. And you see some moments and details that you can see that Mason Mount is a proper footballer. So we believe a lot in him. I especially believe a lot in Mason Mount.
The problem is, Mount has been consistently injured, and since Carrick took over, he has not had a single starting appearance. Amorim made a choice between Mainoo and Mount, and he chose the wrong one. Carrick did it differently, not by reinventing Mainoo, but by understanding who he truly is. When Carrick paired Mainoo in midfield with Casemiro, he did not ask how many kilometres Mainoo could run each match. He asked, what does the team need most? The answer was someone who could receive the ball under the highest pressure, turn and make the right decision. Mainoo does that better than anyone else in the squad. And when Mainoo takes on that operating brain role in midfield, Casemiro is freed to do what he does best, and Bruno Fernandes is pushed into his natural position as a true number 10, not a deep lying playmaker forced to play lower. The entire team begins to breathe.
How Kobbie hasn't played for footballers a year is mind-blowing. One of the best young talents in the world of football. And for a kid not to play for a year and to come in and play against City and Arsenal and basically run the games is a testament.
He's been brilliant. We know what Kobbie can do. He can take the ball for us under pressure. He's brilliant on the ball. He can get out of tight spaces. I always say, as a footballer, if the structure's good, you can perform. You can look a good player. But
from Amorim's perspective, the reason Mainoo was not trusted in his system was because he believed the player lacked the physicality for high pressing. But under Carrick, Mainoo has run more than all his teammates in 3 of the last 4 matches. In many games, he has also been the player who won the most duels and completed the most successful take-ons in the team. It is not that Mainoo lacks physicality, it is that Amorim's system did not create the environment for him to express that strength.
More from this last few months than when he first got in the team, when he was getting all the plaudits. I think he's had to mature. He's obviously got a new deal now. He's got to learn his trade. He's still a young player. He's learning. He's got years before he even peaks. He's surrounded by experienced players. Hopefully they're helping him. So I think it was no bad thing.
But to avoid simply blaming one person, it must be said clearly that those who defend Amorim are not entirely wrong. Not every coach has to adjust tactics for each individual player. That is not how a sustainable system is built. And Amorim took over Manchester United during the most chaotic period of the club in decades. It would not be fair to judge a long-term philosophy based on half a turbulent season. However, there is one thing that cannot be excused. Mainoo did not decline because he became worse. He declined because he was not placed in the right environment. And that is not a philosophical issue. It is an issue of player assessment.
I think Amorim for Kobbie was a nightmare for the type of player he is, because sometimes as a player your style just doesn't marry up well with the coach and the expectations of it. I think with Carrick it's like he's a dream, you know? It's a dream to have a fellow midfielder who can almost coach and guide you as this is what I need from you in these areas, and you go through it and you have that mutual respect and you're looking up to a guy of Carrick's standard and what a player he was. I think if he builds himself up, gets explosive, we're talking about a guy that can go to another level that he is now.
The question is not who is tactically right. The question is, when you have Kobbie Mainoo in your team and you cannot find a way to use him, that is a failure of the system, not the player. And the cost of that failure is clearest when looking at the bigger picture. 1 year ago, Liverpool finished the season 42 points ahead of Manchester United, while also equalling United's record of 20 domestic league titles. 42 points. That is the gap between champions and a team in decline. Well, it's a good idea for United to go to Mainoo 43 times. Carrick is here for Arsenal, City, Chelsea, and there's Liverpool. For the first time since the 2015-16 season, Champions League qualification is secured with 3 rounds remaining. Mainoo signed a new 5-year contract just last week. Then he scored the winning goal against Liverpool at home. If Ineos had followed Amorim's direction and sold him for £40 million back in January, what would the scenario have looked like for Manchester United? A Champions League spot? I don't think so. Under Amorim, the smile disappeared from Mainoo's face. A player who had been the centrepiece of England at Euro 2024 became someone not even named in a 20-man squad. Not because he got worse, but because no one knew how to place him correctly. Carrick did nothing extraordinary. He simply restored Mainoo to himself, gave him the right role, gave him trust, and let him play the way he knows how to play. Immediately, everything changed. What was Rúben Amorim afraid of? Perhaps he was not afraid of Mainoo. He simply did not see him, and that is even worse. Because now, after everything that has happened, the whole world can see him. If you enjoy our video, don't forget to hit like to help this video reach to other football lovers, and hit the subscribe button to follow for more interesting videos about football stories. See you in the next video.